out there, YouTube land, and also some social media lands? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're going to be doing a movie review of a new film that just came out last week, the September 29th, and is a new film from the guy that brought us, that's right, brought us the 2014 Godzilla. So we're going to get right into that. Before we do that, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you miss this video and the other videos I put up. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all those great places. I pretty much post on a regular basis. And check out my Patreon, too, as always. And so, like I always say, let's get right into this. So, welcome one and all to an all-new video. So, like I was saying before, we're going to be doing a movie review of a new film that just came out last week. And is a sci-fi adventure film that is just amazing, awesome, and just I can't believe how good of a film it was. And that happens to be a film called The Creator. Yeah, The Creator. Yeah. So The Creator is a great film in its own right because it does take a similar story that we've heard several times now, but gives it a whole new twist and alters things and gives us a different perspective and gets all these kind of cool things that I haven't seen in previous films about the same type of subject. Now, this film is just visually amazing. The graphics in this film are so outstanding. And it just overall was just a really great sci-fi type of film that truly I was really impressed with how fantastically well and how great it was done. I was really impressed with everything that was done with this film and how beautiful it looked, and the cinematography and all this kind of stuff was just so amazingly done. And I just was really impressed with how well it came out and how, even though it had over a 2-hour long runtime, it never dulled. And it felt, really well constructed, and it felt like it went in time with each other, and it definitely flowed properly, and all that kind of stuff, which I was really shocked by. Because sometimes some films, that when they get too long, you can definitely see where they cut things out and don't make as much sense as other films. And this film definitely did not have that problem, and I was really impressed with that. Now, this film happens to be directed none other by a gentleman that goes by the name of Gareth Edwards. Yeah, Gareth Edwards, yeah. So Gareth Edwards you might recognize as a, director of the film Rogue One. You might recognize him from doing a few other things over the years, and just as a really fantastic director that has directed some pretty good stuff. Now, visually, I think Gareth Edwards has a really great idea of action, has a really good eye for visuals, for cinematography, and just is really good at making a lot of great action that accompanies story elements very well. Like, I feel some movies, sometimes they're all action, people complain about, and they have no story. Or the opposite, it has a lot of story but not enough action. And I think Gareth does a really great job of combining both very well, and that's how The Creator came out. And I could see that he visually did a really good job with giving us new visuals we hadn't seen in previous films about the same type of subject. He gave us different types of androids. He gave us different looks. He gave us different machinery. Definitely some very much, resembled other, around this time frame type of, subject matter we've seen in previous, other films about AI and robots and stuff like that. But at the same time, he put his own groove on it and his own ideas, and it just really shaped into a very well-constructed look and idea and everything like that. And I appreciated that, they did a lot of great visuals in this film that looked flawless. It did not look computerized. It looked actually like they were real creatures, real things that were built with human counterparts. And I just was really impressed with that great CGI and great visually that he brought to this film. And I thought he did a really good job with that as well. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Gareth Edwards has directed, including Rogue One, another great film he directed that I think is one of my favorites of his over the years, and is a 2014 film that is a reboot to a great Toho franchise called Godzilla. Yeah, Godzilla, yeah, he directed the reboot of the 2014 Godzilla, and he did a masterful job with that film. It was so freaking amazing, and he gave you that amazing element of surprise of Godzilla, because that was one thing a lot of people complained about the 2014 Godzilla. We don't get much Godzilla in it. But I like that aspect that he brought to it, that we didn't get as much of Godzilla as we should have, because he really made sure to take a lot of the story but give us the action as well. And that just shows how great of a director he is. If you have not seen Godzilla 2014, definitely check it out for Gareth Edwards' directing style. He did a really fantastic job with it. And I really enjoyed what he did with the creator. It was just really amazing, and I loved everything what he did with this film. I loved the writing, the acting, everything about it, from the visuals and all that kind of stuff. He put it exactly into place to make a really solid, fantastic film. If you haven't seen anything Gareth Edwards has done, definitely go check out The Creator in theaters now. He did a phenomenal job. So this film has a really fantastic cast. We have a lot of great people that have been great in other things, and they just all did a really fantastic job in this film. Now, to start us off is none other kind of the main character himself, that is part human, part cyborg. And that, of course, is Mr. John David Washington. Oh yeah, John David Washington, woo! John David Washington, yeah! So John David Washington, aka Denzel Washington's son, is an amazing actor. He's proven himself to be a really fantastic actor, really good at his craft, and really hones a lot of the talent that his dad has. And one thing I came out of this movie thinking was, wow, Denzel, watch out for your son. He really is coming for your Oscars. He just was so superb in this film, and just was amazing. I was really impressed with him in this film, and I loved what he did with it. And I love the evolution of the character from the beginning of the film to the end of the film, and how he really brought a great essence of humanity to his character, along with being, he's trying to do the right thing, but at the same time he's trying to do the right thing by them as well, trying to be in the middle and do it correctly. And I love that conflict that he had, and he really produced it very well through his acting, and I just really enjoyed what John David did with that character. Now, another great film he was in that you should definitely check out, and is probably his best acting besides this film, and is from a 2018 film that is based on a true story called BlacKkKlansman. Yeah, BlacKkKlansman. Yeah, this is an epic film, and John David Washington is absolutely superb in this film. I loved everything he provided for this character in this film. I loved the voice, I loved the acting, I loved the look, I loved everything he brought to this character, and it was just superbly put together. I mean, the writing alone in that film was so well conceived, and John just knew exactly what to do with the dialogue. And he brought it out so flawlessly and so smoothly, and just really embodied that character he was playing based on a real undercover cop, and he just was so amazing in it. And I was just really impressed with him, and that really got me on the roll of wanting to see more of John David Washington. And he just did such a fantastic job that really showed his acting chops, and that he is, he does have his dad's talent, that he has his own talents too, but he's gunning to be as good as his dad, and I was really impressed by that. If you haven't seen John David Washington anything else, definitely check him out on BlacKkKlansman. He was absolutely superb in it. Fantastic and amazing. But I really enjoyed him, the creator. Like I said, I loved his evolution through the film. I thought he did a great job, and I absolutely think that every film he gets better and better with his acting. And this film, I felt, proved it. And I think that he really evolved more from his films like Tenet and from BlacKkKlansman and stuff like that to this film. And I just loved what he brought and gave us in this film. If you haven't seen John David Washington anything recently, go check him out in The Creator in theaters now. He was really phenomenal. So that brings me to the next actress I'd like to talk about that was in this film. And that is none other than kind of the love interest slash wife slash antagonist or bad guy, supposedly, in this film. And that is played by none other than Miss Gemma Chan. Oh yeah, Gemma Chan, woo, Gemma Chan, yeah, Gemma Chan. Gemma Chan, she is gorgeous. but she can act pretty decently. I'm impressed with her in this film. From her other roles I've seen her in, I think that she overall is a okay actress, nothing great, but I really saw a different side to her in this film, and I was really impressed with it. And I enjoyed that it was more of a dramatic role for her, and that it was definitely different than her other roles in other films. And I enjoyed that she brought kind of a different essence to this character. And I enjoyed that, even though she didn't have a tremendous amount of screen time in it, whatever screen time she did have, I thought was really well done and really well executed for her performance. Now, if you haven't seen anything else Gemma Chan has been in, definitely check her out in some other films that, she's done, that she's been pretty good in. But one of them that really pulls me in, one of the ones that I think that is probably not the horriblest job, but was a decent addition to that film, was in the great film that came out a couple years ago called The Eternals. Yeah, Eternals. Yeah. So the Marvel-led Marvel film, Eternals, she plays one of the characters in the film, and I really enjoyed her in the film. I thought that she was a pretty decent character, not as strong and good as some of the other characters, but she definitely was interesting and not too bad, and was enjoyable as her character in the film. I liked her love for the people of the earth. I loved her persona of being like this, she cares about people and stuff like that. And I thought she did a good job with that and showed kind of a nice soft side to herself. And I thought that she wasn't, super badass in it, but at the same time I thought she still did a decent enough job to be entertaining and do a good job with her performance. Definitely worth a watch if you haven't seen anything else Gemma Chan has been in. Definitely check her out in The Eternals. She wasn't too bad. But overall, I thought she did a decent job in The Creator, was a great addition to that film, and just proved me, wrong that she is not that bad of an actress, that she's actually better than she was in The Eternals and other things I've seen her in, and that she actually does have some interesting acting chops. Definitely worth a watch if you enjoy Gemma Chan. If you haven't seen her in anything recently, go check her out in The Creator now. She was okay. So that brings me to the final actress I like to talk about this film, and that is none other than kind of the other kind of main bad guy in this film, slash thinking they're doing the right thing hero type of character, and that of course is Miss Allison Janney. Oh yeah, Allison Janney, woo, Allison Janney, yeah. Allison Janney is so freaking funny. She is amazing. She's absolutely hilarious. But I've actually seen her quite a few times now in kind of action roles and more serious roles, and she actually does a pretty damn good job. She's not just good at comedy, she's actually good all around, and I was really impressed with this film. I enjoyed her character in the film. I liked what she brought to it. Like, she had like that great kind of sense of humor along with being very serious, but also trying to be kind of the, captain, to be the leader of her group. And I really liked how badass she was in it. She kicked butt. She was really enjoyable and a really great addition to this film. Now, if you haven't seen her in anything else, definitely check out a great film from 1999 called 10 Things I Hate About You. Yeah, 10 Things I Hate About You. Oh my god, I absolutely love her as the school counselor in this film. She is downright freaking hilarious. Oh my god. Her whole character is absolutely hilarious in this film. It's one of my favorite roles of hers. Some of the lines she has, especially with, certain characters that pop up with Heath Ledger, Julia Stiles, and stuff like that. She has some of the greatest iconic lines in that film that are just absolutely freaking hilarious. And she just absolutely cracks me up, and I think she was such a great addition to that film. And if you ever watch the film, watch through the credits, because at the end of the credits, there is a deleted scene that they added into the credits with her in it, and it's absolutely freaking hilarious. If you haven't seen that, definitely check it out, people. But Allison Janney was fantastic in 10 Things I Hate About You. She was superb. I love her in it, and it's definitely something you should watch if you're an Allison Janney fan. If you haven't seen Allison Janney recently, anything, or haven't seen her in anything at all, definitely check her out on 10 Things I Hate About You. She was priceless in it. But overall, I really enjoyed her, like I said, in The Creator. I thought she was so good and a great addition to this film, and I absolutely loved her throughout the whole entire film. And I think that she just was a great character all around and did a great job in it. If you haven't seen her in anything recently, go check her out in The Creator now in theaters. She was the bomb. So what is The Creator about? Basically, the premise of The Creator is it's supposed to be in the distant near future, where a AI basically has created a giant nuclear holocaust in LA, and basically has created a new war against AI, in that basically all AI need to be destroyed, and the northern hemisphere has basically become war-torn and decided to go after any AI that's left who are being protected by the East. And basically it's about this battle between AI over in the East versus whatever's left of the AI, with all the American side going after them and trying to destroy it all. They created basically this mass weapon that's destroying the AI, and basically the story, it's up to the main people to try to bring peace between the two. And that's pretty much what the movie is about. Really fantastically done, action-packed, great CGI, great special effects, great story, great directing, great acting by all, and just is a really superb film. I was blown away with how good it was. There's so many great scenes throughout this film, great action sequences. We get to see, the great CGI work that was done with all the different characters. Ken Wannabe, the main little girl that is kind of like the main weapon against the bad guys, was awesome. You had great scenes that shows John David Washington in action. We get to see the robots fighting each other. We get to see great giant tanks and stuff like that show up and are battling it out. We get some great scenes with John David Washington and the little girl kind of having conversations. We see John David Washington having conversations with others, him and Gemma Chan and stuff like that. And overall, we just see a lot of great different things throughout the imagery, and it's so well done. If you haven't seen The Creator yet, definitely go check it out in theaters now. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up. Can't wait to add this collection. It was amazing. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching, thank you for liking, also thank you for subscribing. And if it's your first time here or you have been before, don't forget to check out any older new videos you might not see yet. As always, people, if you enjoy my content here on YouTube, definitely check out my other places and stuff like that, especially my Patreon, where you can get all kinds of cool accoutrement you can't get here. So as always, people, catch you in the next one.